Hi everyone, back today with another video. I just thought I'd go through what I'm doing kind of on a daily basis to get ready for the next season. You've probably noticed the prices of things have dropped quite drastically on the auction house. So the era of farming, at least for this season, is coming really to a close. Like you're not going to make much bang for your buck. So I'm starting to stockpile things I think would be worthwhile. So I'm still doing my weaver cloth farm and things like that. But mostly I'm putting it into the patron orders to really get up my skill points, my knowledge points for for tailoring. Basically, you can see here I managed to pick up an order for um, just a random order, and I made 5,000 gold off it. It was 30 seconds. I already had the order. They do supply the materials, but the more things I know, the better the quality items I can make. So basically, this is just me filling those orders in the beginning of the video to get those points, and the little bags you get. They've got some stuff. I do list those on the auction house. Like if I can't use it for my tailoring or enchanting, I don't keep it. There are a couple of things you'll notice at the end of the video. I'm stockpiling in my Regent Bank because I think it could be worth gold in the next season. It's a bit of a gamble though. I am guessing. So I've just decided to put a couple of thousand gold into that and hold on to it and see what happens. So yeah, enjoy. If you're going to start doing this, remember to do your patron orders before you start making things for the day, just in case you manage to upgrade a skill point that will help you get either better quality items or increase your multi-craft when you're making things. I make a bunch of stuff to DE, so it's good for me to have the max skill in things because I get better dusts and things out of it. But make sure you pick up those skill points and learn them before you start making things for the day. It will make a big difference. So this is the first time in this expansion I've started stockpiling things. You can see here that I haven't learned the unraveling knowledge points yet. I am starting to do that now, but before now it was just more gold was made by selling the weaver cloth as it was, rather than me going to the effort of making the thread unless I was actually making something. So I am going to level up that skill now, and I think it'll be helpful in the next in the next part, in the next season, because I think there will be a lot of people who want to gear up as fast as possible. I'm hoping some new patterns and things come out, some higher level stuff, but we'll see what happens. For the exquisite weaver cloth bolts, I need the dust, the enchanting dust. So I make whatever I can make the most of at the highest level, which just happens to be these gloves. And then I disenchant those and break and shatter the crystals. The name eludes me right now, and I shatter the crystals to get the dust. So this helps my enchanting and my tailoring. It's a really good setup. It has been pretty much since the beginning of WoW, having this pairing. But that's what I'm doing here. I'm creating these gloves so I can disenchant them for the dust and the gems.
Do you have a query? May rook nor ram take
This quest here, this side quest where you get the enchanting knowledge points, doesn't pop up often, so I always fill it when I can. I want to level my enchanting as much as possible. I haven't put as much time and effort into making sure I'm specced into that as I have my tailoring. And you'll see here that I have put into a lot of knowledge points into the disenchanting knowledge tree, and that way I get knowledge points. You can see down there, I get knowledge points every time. Well, not every time. A lot of the times when I do these disenchantments for my tailoring, so it's a bit of a win-win. Because I'm able to get these knowledge points from disenchanting on my for my enchanting for my enchanting knowledge tree, I do put all of my artisan's acuity into buying knowledge points for tailoring. It's much harder to get those, and that's where I'm making most of my money. So that's where I put my effort. So I've decided to disenchant the silver ones, the gleaming shards, the silver gleaming shards, just to increase the chances I get the silver storm dust. When you're making crests, the grey ones, the bronze ones, it doesn't make any difference if you used your best quality mats on the crest or not. But it does make a difference if you use your best quality mats in the actual crafting process. So I keep the bronze ones for the crests, and then I keep the gold ones for my crafting, and then I shatter the silver ones. You'll also notice that in that disenchanting process, I did pick up 9 knowledge points for my enchanting tree, so it's definitely worth specking into designated disenchanter, especially for the blues if you're pairing this with another thing like tailoring or blacksmithing, just to really make the most out of leveling your enchanting while you're focusing on increasing your blacksmithing or tailoring. This is the first time I've played with the Shatter Essence. You can see I literally just learned it. Again, it was more profitable at the beginning of the expansion to sell these mats when I picked them up, but now we're getting into the point where it's the time frame where it's more beneficial to be able to make things. And I've been picking up patterns and things throughout this expansion with the gold I've been making, so I'm pretty well set up for that. But now I'm just having a bit of a play and seeing how it all works. So I'm going to do the Dark Flame Cleft follower dungeon now. I do this for about 10 minutes in this video. Sometimes I do it for 20 minutes a day, but usually do it for around 10 minutes. You see, I pick up a lot of cloth in just this time frame. So I decided to do it, seeing as I got all of those skill points today, and then to work on stockpiling a little bit more. You can see I've really perfected how quickly I can gather this cloth in this dungeon here. For anyone new to my videos here, when you use that macro, double jump so you can skip the first loading screen. That's how I'm doing it there.
It's too far away.
I don't know what it is, but always in the first few follower dungeons I do for the cloth gathering, I don't get a lot in the first couple, and then I don't know, as of about the fourth or fifth one, I start to get insane amounts, and I don't know what that's about. It could just be, I don't know, it could just be luck, but it seems to be really consistent. So if you're running this, definitely give it at least 5 or 6 goes before you decide whether or not it's worth it for you. You can see there I missed the double jump and I had to cop the 2 loading screens and how much longer that takes. You can see now I've suddenly started to get a lot more cloth on just this one. If you've made it this far, that's awesome. Don't forget to like and subscribe. It's free and it really helps out this channel. It also helps me prove to my wife that she's wrong, basically, and that you can reach 1,000 followers just playing WoW on YouTube. So if you think the game is awesome enough to check out on YouTube, like and subscribe, and maybe just leave a comment in the bottom so I can rub it in my wife's face. It's very petty, but you know, that's what marriage is. Right now, I know some of you are thinking, oh my god, did she just say wife? Yes, I came out of the lock closet a little while ago.
I'm out of range.
At this point, I sped up a little because I really wanted to see if I could get 200 cloth in 10 minutes. So we'll just see if I make it, but that's what the speed up here is about.
I need a target. I need to get closer.
I did note that I didn't get as much Dawn Weave on this run as I normally would, so it could just be luck, but it could also be Blizzard catching on about how good this farm is.
I'm out of range.
At 189 Weaver Cloth, can we do it? So we wrapped the 10 minutes up on 196, which is just rude, honestly. It could have given me the full 200 just to satisfy my OCD there. So you can see I picked up that crafting order. I made 5,700 gold in 30 seconds. So it's worth having those orders. And also it's worth clicking search when you look at the public chat bar, because sometimes it doesn't come up unless you click search. So make sure you're clicking search if you're not getting any of those crafting orders popping up on yours. So now I'm going to turn all of this into the bolts and make some more exquisite weaver cloth bolts, and I'm going to stock up on all of that. So you can watch what I do here. It's just basically me turning this into mats. If you skip forward a little bit, you can see what I'm stockpiling in my Regent bank. So it's up to you. This may or may not work. Some of it is just pure speculation. I do think there will be a demand as people try to get characters geared up for the next level of raids that come out with the next season. So I think that there will definitely be a bit of a boom, and having those materials, especially for the people who are a bit too lazy to go and collect their own items and pay a real premium for somebody else to do it. It's worth having those, but also just for doing the patron orders and getting the knowledge points so you can learn as many things as possible to be able to fill as large a variety of those orders as you can. I'm sure there will be new gold farms in the next season when I'm sure there will be a bit of a shift in what we prioritize for our crafting and what's useful. So there will definitely be new ways to make gold, even if it's tapering off now. But being able to make those the gear will be like a consistent way to make gold. You can log on, you can check um, the orders and just fill those the public orders, and especially in the beginning it's a very good way to make gold, but it is consistent all the way through. You can see there I made almost 6,000 gold, and I was just logging in to do my tailoring things. This is me just checking to see how many exquisite weaver cloth bolts I need to make some of the consecrated stuff, which is a lot of what I sell for those public orders. So yeah, I'm just trying to figure out how many of these exquisite weaver cloth bolts I need to be stashing away, either to put on the auction house in the next expansion or to use to fill those orders. Just realized I said expansion instead of season, not expansion season. Don't hold things into the next expansion. That never goes well. So I'm making stuff for disenchanting again. I have noticed that I only get the little enchanting knowledge points when I do this the first time every couple of days. So I will disenchant this now, but I'm not going to get any more of those points. But if I do this 3 days from now or 4 days from now, I'll get points again. I don't know what that's about. I think maybe Blizzard gives you so many a week. I don't know. But yeah, if you're not one for collecting mats the way I am and you want to make the most out of this, make these items and then disenchant them in a couple of days. You can see I keep checking for those public orders on my server. There's high competition for it, so you've got to be fast. You can't just finish what you're doing and then check and hope for the best. You've got to do it in intervals and hope you beat other people to it, really. If Blizzard could please make a disenchant all of a certain type of thing button, that would be wonderful, because this is really tedious. I mean, even with the shatter, I can select what type of gleaming shards I want to shatter. It would just be helpful. Like, disenchanting takes forever, so much clicking. All the extra side materials I'm getting here, like the cloth and the ores, and the skin, all the flowers, just basically all of the random stuff you get while disenchanting, while specced out all the way in designated disenchanter. I'm going to list that on the auction house. That could be a mistake. I don't know. I don't have those specializations. Like, I'm not a blacksmith, and I don't have an army of alts with a bunch of different jobs. I just have this one. So I'm not going to keep those things because I can't use them in the event that they tank on the auction house. At least with the cloth stuff and and the enchanting stuff, I can make things out of that, and that might generate profit. So it just really increases the chances I get a benefit out of those. So I'm not going to hold the other things into the next season. But let me know if I'm wrong. Let me know if you think I should be keeping some of these things. Picked up a lot of grey items here. So I'm going to vendor those. I did it while I was doing the farm. So I made 145 gold there, just in greys, which is a nice little side bonus. Helps to make back some of the gold we potentially lost filling some of those patron orders. But those are lose gold now, make gold later type scenarios. I'm just checking the auction house here to see if any of the recipes I use for enchanting or tailoring are any better price wise on the auction house. Sometimes somebody gets bored of listing them over and over again, and they'll list it for a really low price, and I like to grab them then. So I'm going to my bank now. I'm going to put a bunch of stuff in the Regent Bank for what I'm stashing for later. You can see I've stashed a few things in here that are a little outside the norm, like the bottled storm and the cinder bee satay. So just to see, you never know. Those things are relatively worthless now. So if they don't sell, if they don't increase in profit, I haven't lost a lot of gold here. But if they do, I've made a lot of gold. So the key here will be really when the season changes, is checking the auction house right away, because these things are easy to get, and unless Blizzard changes that, they won't be profitable for a long term. But immediately in the short term, they could potentially make a lot of gold. So I'm just going to list that extra stuff on the auction house, give my bags a good clean. That's it for today. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video or you found it helpful. I make these videos a couple of times a week. And as always, remember, girls don't play WoW.